Yeah. So, good evening, everyone. Hello? Yeah, much better. So, good evening, everyone, and we'll try and start the memorial service now. Sorry, we're running a little bit behind schedule, but not too bad, hopefully. So I'm Kamran. Some of you might know me. I am Uncle James's nephew. So welcome to all the dignitaries and all the friends and family. Thank you so much for taking time out on a weekday to be with us and celebrate his life, really. Thank you. And I've had some very heartfelt moments across the room with everyone who knew him fondly and remembers him in very, very warm and nice words and memory. I guess I had a different challenge. I grew up with him as an uncle, so it wasn't easy. But even when I was young, I knew what I wanted. I wanted to look like him. I wanted to dress like him. I wanted to smile like him, but most importantly, I wanted to have a sense of humor. You can't inherit everything, so I'm not quite as tall as him. I'm getting there with my dressing. My sense of humor, I got the bad half, I'm working on the good half. Hopefully I'll learn it. But we're here in rugby because this was his heart and soul. And people of rugby were his family. He was remarkable because he loved everyone unconditionally, which is very surprising. And even when you get to be his age, he was still naive, or I should say naive like me, because he believed in everyone. And whenever he was let down, he used to tell me a story. He used to say, you know, when a kind man came across a scorpion drowning, he kept picking him up, even though the scorpion kept stinging him. And the reason was, he thought, if he wouldn't stop stinging me, why should I stop saving him? And that kind of stuck with us, and it's hard. He will be sorely missed, but throughout, you know, he was someone who never gave up. You all know his story. He grew up in a small village with people around him who couldn't read and write, but he knew he had to. And he let nothing stop him. Give him a challenge and he'll turn it into an opportunity. And that's what we're here to remember. And I see that in almost everyone I've spoken to today, which is, I guess, the main thing. You all remember him as someone who was kind, someone, you know, who brought around change, and he was definitely that. And he leaves us very big shoes to fill. I don't think we can. He was once in a lifetime titan who we're struggling to just get the breath off what he was able to accomplish. So thank you for taking time out, and I'll just share one story that tells you of a very patient man, and that's my favorite. So I was almost as old as my daughter over there, who's 6. So it's hard to remember something when you're 6, but it was very profound. So he had just won his Sitare Pakistan, and he was meeting a lot of, you know, important people. I think I remember them being someone from the army or someone from the government, and we were in this meeting, and he did the mistake of taking me with him. So I kept, as soon as I had not realized he'd won this award, so I kept running up to him and pulling his leg, "Can I see your medal? Can I see your medal?" He would gently just brush my head and stroke my hair and say, "Oh, just in a minute, don't you worry, we'll see it." And that went on for a while, until the meeting was over. We came back home, and we went to his room where he was, and smilingly put the medal around my neck and said, "There you go." And he very, very, very kindly and patiently said, "It's always nice if you just ask once and let the person just, you know, respond to you. Maybe you'll try that next time." I don't know. I don't remember anything else from my 6-year-old life, I remember that. And that was him, patient to a fault. But I'm grateful that we get to share his life with you, and I'm grateful that you're all here. We'll start with a small prayer. For that, I'll invite Reverend Preb Wilson Gill to say a few words of thanksgiving for his life, and we'll have a few small tributes after, and we'll hopefully get you back home in time.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. You can close your eyes or you can leave your eyes open, but just a respect of this great man. So let us pray. The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. God of mercy, Lord of life, you have made us in your image to reflect your truth, life, and light. We give you thanks for Dr. James Shera, for the grace and mercy he received from you, for all that was good in his life, and for all the memories we cherish and treasure today. We thank you for the talents, gifts, and virtues he used in the field of education, national health services, public sector, human development, culture, and serving the local communities. We now ask for your peace, comfort, and restoration of his family, friends, and extended communities. Through Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
So, as we've all heard throughout the day, that he saw, well, he was colorblind, he was gender blind, he didn't care about your gender, religion, color. He was just a very loving person. But he had many identities, but one identity he was very proud of was that he was a Pakistani Christian. And that was important to him because he could use that and use what he had achieved to help so many others who might be going through a hardship somewhere else in the world. And it's just amazing that a lot of, everyone's come together. But the next person I'm going to invite is a Pakistani Christian who's actually with us from Pakistan. And it's Mr. Albert David, who is MBE, and he is the head of consular services at British High Commission in Pakistan. He and I never met before, but I have heard of him from my uncle, and he was very fond of him. So I'm glad that he could make it and be with us today. So.
Dignitaries, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the family of Dr. James Shera, a very good evening to all of you. I feel honored yet humbled to be standing here today and having this opportunity to say a few words for Dr. James Shera. However, when I was thinking that what I'm going to say, I very clearly felt that I was short of words. And when I was thinking, the three words that immediately came to me, and I think for me, those are the three words that explain his personality. And those three words are, he was a visionary. He was an inspiration. And to sum it all, I think he was an institution in himself. I know he was an inspiration for many, but Dr. James Shera will always remain an inspiration for me personally. I mean, though there are many things to say about him, but the one thing that I just wanted to share over here was I was amazed of the amount of respect that he enjoyed, not only here in the UK, but back in Pakistan as well. He seemed to be the key to open many doors. And when I say that, many closed doors back in Pakistan. You know, whenever we had an issue, whenever we had a problem, you know, we contacted him, and he would use his contacts or his influence, I would rather say, you know, to open those doors for us in Pakistan. Kamran just said that he had his heart and soul over here. Kamran, I just want to add that I think his heart and soul was Pakistan today. And I've experienced that. You know, though he'd spent most of his life here in the UK, but his commitment to Pakistan and to the Pakistani Christians, I think it's something, like measuring the unmeasurable. And I think he was, and he will always be remembered as a proud Pakistani Jew. Yes, he was a teacher, he was an educationist, and I'm sure hundreds of students, would have learned from him. But there are some like me, who just learned from him by just talking to him, by just speaking to him. I remember the day when I was nominated as the member of the National Commission for Minorities in Pakistan. I had a call from him. He congratulated me for that. But on the other hand, I think for the next 10-15 minutes, he reminded me of the responsibilities that came with that. Yes, we are celebrating his life today. And I'm sure his legacy will live. One thing, Kamran, I don't know whether there was a biography in his life that he wrote, but if he didn't, I think he's one person that we should have a biography of. And I think that would be a help, a great help for not only people like me, but many young people to learn that how to work and work hard and make your name. So, if there is anything that I can do or contribute to that, that will be an honor. Just wanted to say thank you, Kamran, for giving me this opportunity to be standing over here. There are lots of fond memories, and if I wanted, sort of, if I shared, I mean, I could go on and on. But those fond memories will remain with me, and I will cherish those memories. I think for the whole of my life. And I would just like to say that may his soul rest in eternal peace, and may God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for reminding us. Sometimes when it's hard to do this because he meant a lot to us, and sometimes words fail us. But you're right. How he loved England as much as Pakistan will always fail me. How he could do justice to both at the same time, fighting for everyone in both countries, is phenomenal, and I wish I could strike that balance one day, but the fault in me is I sometimes have to choose sides, especially, let's say, if there is a cricket match, but it's a hard one, but I sometimes choose the winning side, that's the honest truth. But thank you for sharing your experience with him. The next person I'm going to invite is someone who I've got to know over the last few days, but he's known Mamu for a very long time. And it's a pleasure and honor to invite Junaid next. He is the CEO of Equip. He didn't want me to say this, but a lot of what you're seeing today is thanks to him, so he's still shaking his head.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming on. It still feels somewhat surreal, being here and being part of this event. Seeing this number of people here and not having James, at the forefront of this gathering. Well, I suppose he is in a way, but. As we honour the memory of a truly extraordinary individual, I do find myself at a loss for words, really, to kind of explain the depth and gratitude and admiration I hold for James. To call him a mentor, it really does feel inadequate, for he was much more than that to me, and to countless others. Whose lives he touched with his wisdom, his compassion, and his endless generosity. I had the privilege of knowing James for as long as I can remember, and for the past 22 years I had the honour of working alongside him in the field of race inequality. And his name certainly resonates in households across Rugby and further afield, not just as a figure of respect, but as a beloved member of the family. He was known to many communities as Brother James, by John James, Shera and to the younger generations, Uncle Shera. Now, to me, he was more than an uncle, and in fact, he was more of a father figure to myself. Never once did he offer tainted advice, nor did he turn his back on me or anyone else. One thing that James certainly taught me was that family transcends blood ties, and that true kinship is forged through bonds of the heart. And he definitely proved it through his unwavering love, his support. Right, James to me, and I know to many of yourselves as well, was more than family, even more so than our own blood relations. Everything James did, he did with sincerity, genuineness, and love. Throughout James's remarkable life, he shattered every glass ceiling in his path, from his early education to his pioneering work in education, in politics, healthcare, community activism, His great legacy lies not in his personal achievements, but in the countless lives he touched and transformed along the way. Across James's career, the golden thread that was woven throughout has been his passion and dedication to treating people fairly, ensuring that everyone has the same opportunity as the next person. Promoting equality, recognising and valuing the differences we all have, and making sure that everyone, regardless, was included. Now, I speak on behalf of the Equality and Inclusion Partnership, where James served as chair until his passing. His commitment to the organisation stems back to the 80s, and he led, as chair, the development of the Rugby Racial Equality Council, a local rugby charity, into a county-wide race equality partnership. In 2016, he then led the expansion of the partnership into a wider equality service to what it is today, namely the Equality and Inclusion Partnership. And throughout James's chairmanship of EQUIP and his predecessor organisations, there's one thing that never wavered, even with the Parkinson's disease, and that was James's commitment and devotion to the communities we serve, the staff and the trustees as well. Without fail, every day James would WhatsApp me a message wishing me a good morning, and I know he did the same for many of you as well. He would regularly ask if the team was working hard or hardly working as well. And that seems to be a phrase that will certainly stay with me for a long time, and I know a few of us as well. Now, despite James's awards, his achievements, his accolades, and the seriousness of his work, there's one thing that James never failed to do, and that was to take every opportunity to tell a joke. I recall sitting in James's office in the ICSS Centre at the Ben Education Centre, where he would pause the conversation and share the recent jokes that he had emailed to Benazir Bhutto and other world leaders that day as well. At every EQUIP board meeting, fellow trustees would know instantly when James was in joke-telling mode, and everyone would just sit back and sit back in their seats, adorn a smile and get ready for that punchline. His sense of humour, as mentioned before, his sense of humour, even in the most challenging times, truly endeared him to all that knew him. Whether sharing jokes with world leaders or lightening the mood at board meetings, James truly had a gift for bringing joy to others, with his laughter echoing long after the punchline had faded. During the last few years, James didn't like long meetings, and this was because of the Parkinson's disease. My EQUIP trustees that are here today, they're in the middle table there, will know full well that James would have called for any other business a while ago. But then again, on second thoughts, I'm assuming he didn't like long EQUIP board meetings, but I could be because of the Parkinson's, but I could be wrong. What a great man! What a great man! We had a chat about this yesterday. Right. What a great man we've all been blessed with to have had. So, on behalf of the EQUIP trustees, the retired trustees, the EQUIP staff, the ex-staff, my grandfather, my mother, my wife, my children. Sorry about this.
That's right.
If anybody wants to get some refreshments, the next door, by the way. I say thank you, dear friend, dear leader, dear mentor, dear chair, dear brother, dear uncle, and dear grandfather. May you rest in peace. May your outstanding legacy continue in the actions and deeds of those that have benefited from you. May your soul be reunited with your loved ones. I do apologise. I'm coming towards the end, so please bear with me. May God bless you with the highest ranks in the highest levels of heaven, with all our love forever.
Thank you very much, Junaid, for that really, really heartfelt tribute. And it's difficult because I knew this was going to happen when I called Junaid, because the next person I'm going to call is equally, I know that he truly, truly loved Uncle James. And the reason is, when I heard the news, I was okay, because after a certain while, you lose a lot of relatives, and you process the news, you do it on your own when you're okay. And then I spoke to this person, and I was in the middle of my work, in the middle of my clinic, and I just spoke to him, and he completely got through to me, where I just had to deal with my emotions. And when I spoke to Junaid a few days ago, he came across the same way, and I realized that we were so blessed to have so many people who realized how sincere he was. And thank you, Junaid, for that. I'm going to call Dr. George Elliott next to say a few words. So George is a dentist in Somerset, and that's the humble introduction of him. But he would say a lot more himself, not about himself, but about Uncle.
Hi everyone. I'm holding a paper from Rugby, a lifetime of selfless dedication. Tributes paid to former Rugby mayor who dedicated his life to helping others. I repeat, helping others. I am a living example of his help. His help in the sense, I came to this country with nothing. A dentist from India. 2002, when I met him in a church in Coventry. Lots of people used to be around him. I used to think who this man is. We from India or Pakistan, we would feel, who is this important person? He never used to get a tea because he never had the time speaking to others. So I used to go and get him some tea and some samosas for Noreen and him. Time passed by. I was working as all doctors come here without a visa, without no food, no visa, no shelter, no nothing. Just some money what your parents give to do your post-graduation, whatever. I was working as an attachment in Walsgrave Hospital in Coventry, where he just, in the church, I used to, Uncle William, Dr. William Sidhu from Coventry, introduced me to James, and he told, oh, this is a dentist working for the hospital. So At those times, we had to work 6 to 8 months without any salary. I had the kind heart of the church-going people to give me a roof above me and some food. So he called me and just hugged me and told, oh, I work in the hospital. I said, okay, tomorrow I'm coming to the hospital. So this is after 5 or 6 months that he held me close. I know him well. The next day, I got a call. I was seeing patients through. Got a call from the chairman's room, and then I was called to the chairman's room. So I was thinking, I'm a person. So anyway, he was the co-chair of the Warwickshire Health Authority, and he called me. He asked the chairman of the hospital, or somebody, chief executive, this boy has been working in this hospital for 7 months without a salary. Why don't he have a job? My first salary was £2,800 from his budget or whatever. Today, I was in Coventry for a few years. Then I spread my surgeries to Somerset, Taunton, from rags to riches, from nothing. After he came out of the hospital, he gave me £50 and told me, George, did you eat something? That's sort of a lifting hand. The energy what you get from him every time you see him is to help others. All of you who are sitting here, especially Junaid, his tears has said it all. Lifting others, helping others. He taught us. Anybody who comes for help, help them. There is a God in heaven which, when you need help, you will have another sort of help indirectly. He taught me that, and even today I'm doing it. When you are starving, you don't have a job, you can't bring your family. Getting the first job and a visa is like, and every time he checked that I'm okay, my family is okay. He has named my first son, and my first son is James. So he called me to the Coventry University in 2009 because I was a boy with a lot of energy, overflowing energy. Do something for the Coventry University. Okay. We went and gave Shera a doctorate. And next thing. You know, endless he was. Up till around 3-4 months back when he, George, I can't eat well. So right from Somerset there, his denture comes for him. The last days, he could eat well. Hooray, my dentures work for him. Bless him. I think he has gone with my dentures in. So I'm happy that that will be with him for a lifetime. What I want to tell is all the people who are sitting here, one or the other way, just that person has helped and helped and helped and helped. A big hats off to Imran, who was always with him. Every day calling him 3 or 4 times. You know, I used to come and take him for a few walks through the city center. We go out for a meal. 2 days before he went to Pakistan, he called and, George, it is a bit hurting, it's a bit sharp. I said, you come back. And there I am there. I'll smoothen it for you. And he always wanted to visit Somerset. One thing I want to tell, my first surgery when I bought, he gave me some money and then told George, buy the surgery. He wanted to come and see the surgery with Mac, but it never happened. 2 years, 3 years, he wanted to come and see the surgery. I told James, near the seaside, I have a palace for you, for them both. But such a man of legacy. I have never come across in my life a person who helped and helped, no matter Muslim, Christians, Hindus, Sikh, anybody who came in front of him, he just helped. He was a happy man. Next year, by the help of the eminent Pakistani writers and Mac and all his friends, have already chosen a title for his book, Such a Man Did Live. We want to bring out a book. I would just want to, I'm not a writer, I'm only a dentist who can sort out things. So contact some of the eminent people here. His legacy has to continue, and we shouldn't stop. If we stop, like creating people like me, we shouldn't stop every year doing something for James. I'm sure Mac also agrees with me. Next year also we should join together somewhere. That man should never, his soul should never, if we keep quiet, that man will be, James will be very upset. So in his heart, let his soul rest in peace, let his legacy continue. I have only good things to remember, and my children and my family. God bless you.